What's going on, everyone? So, according to recent reports, Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler have not really spoken about a potential new contract or a new extension. And there seems to be this real feel that this is probably Jimmy Butler's last season with the Miami Heat. It may not even finish the season with Miami. Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler have kind of thrown little shots at each other. Pat Riley had some things to say, which I don't really think is a big deal. Right? Some people kind of ran away with it. You saw some reports and stuff. Jimmy is known as this a-hole, right? I think he loves that stuff. I think that's why him and Pat Riley make so much sense. I think that's why Heat culture is so great for him. I think that's why he's had the most success he's had in that place, right? He doesn't mind a little pushback. He doesn't mind a little trash talk back, right? Especially somebody that's as well respected as Pat Riley. But it really does start to beg the question of what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler? Is he getting traded to a team like the Warriors? Are they just really going to let him leave in free agency? Are they really just going to lose Jimmy Butler for nothing? I think that would be silly. I think, if you're ready to move off of Jimmy Butler, then fine, make him available, get what you can for him, and try to kind of retool in the offseason with the assets that you get for Jimmy Butler rather than you kind of play in the deep end and all of a sudden you sink to the bottom because you just lost Jimmy Butler for nothing. I just think that'd be a little silly at this point. But there have been talks, again, the Warriors and several other teams, maybe potentially Houston, potentially being interested in Jimmy Butler. But there was reports that there is this kind of anonymous team that may make a push for Jimmy Butler, that may be interested in trading for Jimmy Butler. And that team could potentially be the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I think it's very interesting. Giannis kind of almost requested a trade, but without requesting a trade, right? Giannis was hey, if we don't win a championship, I might end up getting traded, which I think is really odd because Milwaukee's never trading Giannis unless Giannis wants out. Right? If Giannis is hey, get me out of here, I want to be traded, and he puts in a request, then sure, I could see Milwaukee kind of fulfilling his request, fulfilling, what he wants. Hey, you won a championship for us, you did right by us, we'll do right by you type thing. He's only getting older, hey, maybe we retool, maybe we get younger. I get the package that you can for Giannis, and then Dame, and then sell all the pieces off, see what you can get. Obviously there's the looming threat of the Warriors. Warriors are supposedly kind of waiting to see what happens with Giannis. The Milwaukee Bucks went and traded for Dame because Giannis was kind of getting cold, getting hot feet, kind of taking little subtleties of hey, I may want out of here type thing. And honestly, I think Milwaukee they haven't solved their biggest issue, which is their age. They're just a really older team. They don't have the youth and athleticism. Dame doesn't seem to be the same guy. Could he turn it around and figure it out? Sure, of course. But he doesn't quite seem to be the guy that, was expected of him thus far. And I also think that they traded the wrong person. I think that they traded Drew Holiday when they should have traded Chris Middleton. Right? Because Drew Holiday would have been perfect alongside Damian Lillard as that point of attack guard, as that guy that can handle the burden on the defensive side. Plus, he's just been healthier and more reliable in that regard. But, if Giannis continues to really put pressure, which is what I think that comment was. I think that comment was more, hey, Milwaukee, I need you to make some moves here. I need you to do some stuff. I don't want you to stay complacent. I don't want you just thinking oh, it's okay. If we lose in the first round again, I'm out of here type thing, right? Really kind of put and apply some pressure to the Milwaukee Bucks front office to hey, you need to look at other moves, right? You need to do some stuff here. And look, Giannis needs to take some accountability. He hasn't been healthy the last few seasons, particularly come playoff time. But also how much of that is he has to be heroic for this team to be really good, right? That's a real thought. But Jimmy Butler, he's the guy that continuously is sending Milwaukee home. If you could go get that guy, one, I think Giannis and Jimmy would get along great. Both guys, have that drive and that hunger and just that motivation. Milwaukee could trade for Jimmy. Problem is, like, asset-wise, they're incredibly limited. Contract-wise, they could easily get it done, right? Because, so, like, you look at Jimmy Butler and you look at his contract, right? Like, right now, he's making $48.7 million. So, basically, let's call it $49 million. Chris Middleton's making $31 million. Let's call it, $32 million. Actually, we should probably call it $31 million because Jimmy's is closer than rounding up than him. Right, so you need to clear about another $17 million, right? And maybe a team like Miami, maybe they'd be interested in like a Bobby Portis, right? Like, do you maybe look to move him? There have been talks of them potentially shopping him and looking to move him. So maybe you add like a Bobby Portis to the deal, and then you got to throw in like a vet minimum guy or something like that to get that done. All right, point is that if they wanted to get there, they could get there. If they wanted to move off of and go and acquire Jimmy Butler, they could make it happen. Question is just like, what would it take for, like, what would Miami want? Would they be okay with Chris Middleton and like Bobby Portis plus whatever else you throw in, whatever else you add in? I don't know, right? Like, if you're Miami, would you prefer kind of like a better younger package that maybe like kind of retool a little bit, or if that star becomes available that makes sense to kind of replace Jimmy, could be out there? Because again, Chris Middleton has not been this like great model of health, right? Chris Middleton has not been a guy that you can rely on, but neither really is Jimmy Butler. So it's like, would they be open to that trade-off? The problem is too, is that like, again, like Milwaukee doesn't have a bunch of like young guys where it's like, oh man, we could just package these like 3 young guys. I do like Gary Trent Jr. I thought was a great pickup for them. They also got who else was DeLon Wright. Taurean Prince gives them that kind of 3-and-D vet guy. I do think that they had some solid options, but like maybe you're throwing all your young guys at them. Like AJ Johnson, Andre Jackson. Right? Maybe you're throwing on a Beauchamp. Right? Like, you're just kind of like, hey, whatever young guy, anybody that you want. Liam Robinson, Ryan Rollins, Tyler Smith, right? Like, you name it, they're yours type thing. And then, pick-wise, what does Milwaukee's pick situation look like? Like, that's the real problem. That's where the real dilemma lies. Because they don't have this, like, treasure trove of picks, right? So, they're incoming picks. So, like, their 2025 pick is New Orleans or Brooklyn. Then their 2026 pick, New Orleans has the rights to swap. 2027 is the Pelicans. 2028, Portland holds the rights. 2029, Portland. 2030, Portland holds the rights to a swap. So their next like real pick is 2031 that they own. So, I mean, they have a long way to go before their picks are available. So they don't really even have picks. So, like, like, do you work out a 3-team deal? Like, point is like, if you can figure out a way to make it happen, you figure out a way to make it happen. Maybe Miami's looking to clear salary or something, right? Like, hey, Jimmy Butler's falling off the book, so maybe another team would be willing to take on Chris Middleton for free. Maybe you get a team like Detroit or Spurs or somebody like that is going to have money and just says, you know what, hey, like, we'll take them, especially if we don't really have to give up anything for them, right? We'll take a flyer on them. We'll take a chance on them. It's always a possibility. But, Dame, Giannis, Jimmy Butler with Gary Trent Jr. So, like, imagine a starting 5. Man, that would actually be really tough if you think about it. Imagine, like, Damian Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., Jimmy Butler, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. Whew. And he'd still have guys like Taurean Prince off the bench. Your bench would be a little thin, but, like, again, you're going all in at that point, right? Like, if you're pulling off something like that, you're essentially just like, hey, we're trying to compete with the Knicks, the Celtics of the world. No, again, your bench should be a little thin. You got Taurean Prince and probably it. Right? Well, I guess you'd still have like Pat Connaughton, right? DeLon Wright, you could probably keep. So, I mean, you'd still be like, 7, 8 guys deep. But that starting 5 would be tough. Just, can you make it work? Can it fit? Because Dame and Giannis at times look awkward and rough. Good thing about Jimmy Butler is he's one of those guys that's willing to like play whatever role is asked of him. Right? He's willing to do whatever is needed. Like, he doesn't care whether you want him to score 5, you want him to score 50. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he'll do whatever you want as long as you guys are winning. So that, I think, go a long way. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Best question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you think that, Jimmy Butler to the Bucks makes sense? Think maybe the Bucks are that anonymous team that could be interested. Do you think, it doesn't make any sense, keep them as far away? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.